Hi guys, my name is Anna and today we're going to have the second part of my book haul. So in my last video I stated that I was going to a signing of Lilly by Maggie Stiefvater, and while I was there I ended up picking up a couple books. Now this isn't a huge haul, but for me this is about the average size of books that I generally tend to get at one time, you know, unless I've got just one book because it's some kind of huge release that I'm coming out with. So I thought I'd show you guys my signed copies and then show you guys the books that I picked up. So I thought I'd first show you the book of the day, Lilly Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. It's so gorgeous and the story was really amazing. I didn't like it quite as much as the first two, and I will probably eventually be releasing a book talk on it, but I think I need to reread it because I read this like ridiculously quickly. But I love the characters in this book series. I feel really connected with them, and I absolutely adore Ronan and Gansey, and Blue's right up there too, especially after this one. I love getting to know her more, and the plot line is just excellent. I feel like it's written really well, so this is a great series, and I was really interesting to get to hear the author and the creator behind such an interesting world speak. I personally have not read her Shiver series. I don't really plan to because I'm not that big a fan of werewolves, and it seems a bit too Twilighty on the romance side of it. So if it's like a fantastic series, let me know, but it just doesn't really sound like something that would kind of be my thing. And I tried reading the Scorpio Races by her, and ironically enough, I kind of absolutely hated that book. And I was so surprised when I picked up the Raven Boys series and found myself just loving it so much that it's amazing how I can like really detest one book by an author so much that I couldn't finish it. So this is a really amazing series, but I was so happy. But I have all of these guys in hardback because I made a point of, when I read these and I knew I loved them, I was like, I have to order this in hardback, because the paperback version of this has all a group of boys that I'm assuming are supposed to be the boys from the Raven Boys, but I feel like this close-up of the Raven is just so much more beautiful with the illustration here. I love it. I feel like it's very striking. I would have a poster of this and like have it framed on my wall, but it is so pretty, and so I was like, you know, I have to get the hardcover edition of this because I'm not getting the version with the stupid people on the background. Not that the characters are stupid, but they didn't look anything like themselves, and it's just the beautiful chainsaw gets to rule in this cover. So I got them all signed, and I will show them to you guys. It says, "For Anna," from Maggie, done like that on each book. And it was really interesting to get to hear her talk and say hi, you know, and chat a little bit with her about the book series. And she talked a bit about some experiences in her own life. She shared some of her creepy stories because it was Halloween themed, you know. So here's the Dream Thieves. So I'd have to say my favorite out of the series probably is the Dream Thieves, because Ronan became my absolute favorite character in the series. And then maybe with the second being the Raven Boys, and then this being third. But I mean, with it being third though, I mean, it's like, I really, really love all of them, you know. There's no like, this one's 4 stars and this one's 2 stars, you know. I mean, it's like, these are all 5 stars. Like, these are all like fantastic. I love this series so much. And like, I have them now, and they're not only existing where I have the story, but they are with my wonderful characters in these gorgeous covers, hardback editions, but they're signed. And these are actually, that was actually the first book signing that I've ever been to, so that was a really amazing experience. That the first book signing I ever went to was one of an author that I respect for creating such an amazing series that I love so much. Like, this is one of my, you know, all-time favorite series, and I'm sure it will be for many years to come. This is one that I think can appeal to kids a little bit younger, not terribly younger because of some of the language in it, because Ronan likes the F word quite a bit. You know, I find myself relating to Ronan a bit in that instance. The amount of times I have to censor myself in these videos get ridiculous. So while I was there at the locally owned bookstore that the signing was at, I found, lo and behold, Illusive in hardback edition by Lloyd-Jones, and I just actually did, and I checked this out from the library, and actually just did a book talk on this book. And as soon as I figure out how to link videos for the annotations things, you can click here and find that, and watch that video if you want. But who knows how long this video will up before I figure out the technical difficulties of that aspect of YouTube. So, you know. But I ended up really liking the book in this video, and I mentioned that I actually like to own it, and then when I'm like just browsing the shelves waiting for the event to start, I see this here and I'm like, well, this is fate. So I'm really happy that I got to pick this up. You know, I'm glad for it to get to shit on my shelves. Right now, I've already situated my shelves for all my new books, so you're gonna see like some naked spots, you know, scattered through here, so just keep an eye on that. Don't get too freaked out. Scandalous, I know. And then I got The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey, and I said I was going to plan on getting this one, and I ended up caving and getting it anyways. Even though it's not a discount price or anything, it still is $18.99. But, you know, I really wanted to read it. And since I have the fifth wave, I felt like I had to have the next book in the series. You know, I mean, it's just ridiculous for a fifth wave to sit all by itself on someone's shelf when its buddy companion is here. So I'm really looking forward into getting into this one and reading it and see what happens with Cassie and Zombie and the gang and everything, and how this story unfolds. And I've read some kind of mixed reviews about this book, but I look forward to seeing for myself and going back into Rick Yancey's writing style, because I really enjoy his writing style. And then after that, I got the Leviathan series by Scott Westerfeld. And for some reason I always want this to be by David Leviathan, because Leviathan and Leviathan are spelled somewhat similar in my non-diagnosed dyslexic mind. But I did have the Leviathan, and it was in this just absolutely gorgeous limit, like only one edition, first edition hardback. But it would bother me that when I got the series, it would be, you know, not matching, and that really, really bothers me when they don't match, because publishers, why? But I wish that all the covers came in that edition, because that edition was gorgeous and it had like the steampunk like illustration on the cover, instead of, because these, I will admit, these are really kind of atrocious covers. You just have the people that don't even remotely look how I imagine them on the covers, with the war type stuff going on in the background. You know, and it's just people don't even remotely look like how I imagine them looking, and so I like I like being left in the imagination of how I personally think they should look like, and these people just aren't it. But those were all the books I got from bookstore, so that was fine. But that's actually a pretty large amount, especially considering two of those were the, you know, Glorious in all its glory, you know, hardcover editions that are so much better than paperbacks because they stand up better on their own, and they just look pretty on shelves, you know. Not counting getting these guys signed, which was, I'm so happy to have these adorable. They're just, these are the ones I hug. Like, these are ones that I just pick them up if I'm in a bad mood and just like read a couple random passages, and I just feel like some of this unhappiness that I have with my life and the world just kind of melt away, because these exist. You know, this is one of those series for me where I'm like, this series exists, and that existence alone can bring me happiness. And I'm like really like almost whacking myself multiple times because I'm such an animated talker. And I'm like whack. Like, I mean, I'm going to edit out several times doing this because I'm trying to be enthusiastic with my hand motions while I'm talking, because I inherited that from my mom, and then I'm killing myself and damaging my pretty books. So those were all of my books. I suppose technically the two books, you know, I didn't get because they were only signed, but I count them, you know, to make this seem like a slightly larger book haul, you know, than it actually is. But this was mainly to discuss about the book signing. So I recommend, she was really interesting to listen speak to, Maggie Stiefvater. So if you have a signing by her in the area, even if you've already gotten all your books signed, or you haven't necessarily read anything by her because she kept it spoiler free, totally go and listen to her talk, because it was interesting to see her, because she used an analogy of that writing a book is like being pregnant, and you're just enthralled with this idea, and you're telling everyone about it, and you're crafting it and what it wants to look like, and then when you give birth, you're kind of giving this disgusted, ugly thing that you have to try and then craft, which is the editing process, and make it look pretty. And how you do that with a baby is, you know, you put little booties on it, you know, and you help tame its crazy little one tuft of hair that it has and everything, you know, and it slowly, as it grows, becomes this wonderful, amazing, you know, independent thing, you know, on child, instead of just being this, you know, kind of distorted ugliness, which is, I feel for with my own personal writing of editing. But that was a really interesting analogy. And she talked about some things like that. She talked about some of her, like, personal stories, like some of the stories that creepy stories she had from growing up about, like, her house being, like, maybe sort of kind of haunted and things like that, you know. And it was really interesting to hear, because it related to the psychic abilities and things like that, kind of the mysticism that's in The Raven Boys, even though ironically she does not believe in that herself, which I personally don't necessarily believe in it, but I think the world is full of many things that have been are yet to be proved to exist or not exist. So who knows, I might meet some awesome person one day who is like just an absolute psychic, who is like really fine with it, but so far I haven't met anyone like that. But these, if I can pick them up, there's not even that many, but I'm really terrified and I don't want to drop them. But these are my glorious babies that will now live amongst my shelves forever, because I'm very, very happy to have them, especially the signed books. Like, I'm really happy that I have my new books, but like, really my thought is like, I have these signed. I have these signed. I have these. That's just like my internal mantra of like, yes, 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 I'm so happy. And I need to go to another book signing at some point. I need to get all my Laini Taylor books, my Spoken Bones series autographed, because that's another one of my all-time favorite series. Then I need to get the Tremere series that I know I'm not pronouncing correctly, but in my heart he's pronounced Tremere, even though it's French, and so it's probably like Tremeria or something, by Naomi Novik. And then the Percy Jackson series, which he never does a signing near Charlotte, like it's always in Texas, and I kick myself every single time that I see, you know, signing in Houston, Texas by, you know, Rick Riordan. I'm like, you're shitting me, right? Like, I lived in Texas for 5 years when I was reading the Percy Jackson series, and I didn't go to one signing. Not one. I kick myself every time I see that on Goodreads notified something, and I'm like, I'm such an idiot. Why didn't I go there? Anyway, that was the rest of my video for today. Oh, quick update real quick on something that isn't related to this video, but whatever. I thought I'd mention that for everyone on the internet, that NaNoWriMo has officially started today, and I personally will not be logging on NaNoWriMo to do it this year. I'm going to be using this month to edit my story that I wrote last year. And because I don't have a new idea that's like outlined enough to be ready to like really sit down and like frenzied writing that NaNoWriMo that is necessary for NaNoWriMo. So I will be participating, but on the sidelines, and I probably won't even log onto the website or anything, but just keeping up with making sure that I, like everyone else, am sitting down and editing my story every day. So I guess after I edit this video and upload it, I will be editing my novel from last year, which has sat mostly untouched, that I feel very guilty for, so I need to go back and give it some serious love. Because it's really great. It's one of my favorite things that I've ever written, and it's the longest thing I've ever written too. So I just want to mention that for you guys who are into NaNoWriMo. So I won't be doing, even though I imagined myself doing it, once I realized I didn't have the story idea to do a completely new one, I won't be doing like daily or even weekly updates or anything on that. I might just want to end and say, hey, guess what? I managed to get my novel edited. Or I might be like, crap, I didn't get my novel edited. But I thought that would be really interesting, and good luck to everyone who is participating. It is a hell of a month when you decide to do NaNoWriMo, but it is a lot of fun, and I managed to do it last year and win, so it was just really fantastic. And I didn't bother printing out certificates or anything like that, but it was a real boost to think that I wrote that much. Holy crap, I didn't know I had that in me. So good luck to everyone who's doing NaNoWriMo, and I guess I'll see you guys when I do my next video. Bye guys!